Hello and welcome to another episode of Trang Tries It, where I try out a spiritual or metaphysical reading so you can see it if you like it before you try it. Today I'm getting an Akashic Records reading, so think of it as a set of encyclopedia books that show all your past, present, and future lives. So a question that comes up a lot is, what is the difference between an Akashic Records reading and a past life reading? I tried both, so make sure to check out the other video in our Trang Tries It playlist. And you can think of an Akashic Records as all your records, all your past lives and future lives. And a past life reading focuses more on your past lives and how it can affect and carry into your present life today. Before we start, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button down below. Okay, let's check out my reading. Yeah, I'm really excited. I came with questions. I didn't know what to expect, and so I just kind of Googled questions where they're like, here are some suggestions to ask in a Akashic Records reading. I'm actually coming more to experience what it's like, because I've had like tarot, all that kind of stuff, but anything that comes through.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so do you know much about what the Akashic Records are then?
Yes, I'm familiar that I call it like, is it like the encyclopedia of the lives you had?
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful way to describe it. Yeah, so the story of you, this life, other lives, and potential lives as well, like potential futures as well. So yeah, in this space, when we open your records, your Akashic Records, you can bring forward questions on things that, maybe you're experiencing, you want insight into, something you might feel like is a repeated pattern or you're stuck on, you're not sure why it keeps happening. You can ask questions about the future, or we can just open them up and see what comes forward. Sometimes when we do ask a question, your soul, your guides want you to know something else, and we kind of got to go with what we get, but we can always come back to the questions.
Great.
Cool. So before you dive into the questions, I'll just tell you what will happen once we get in there. I turn off the video for the call because I'm staring off into space anyway. That way you can sit and get really grounded. And what we'll do is we'll do a little grounding exercise. I'll say what sounds like a prayer to open, and I'll say it aloud once and then twice silently. So you'll hear me talking, then a pause, and then we'll open your records and we can bring forward your questions. Once we're in there, I get a mix of visual and sensory information. So I'll just talk you through what I'm seeing and sensing, and I'll keep checking in with you to say, how does this resonate? Because this is all your information. I'm just going to describe to you what I see. And then if it doesn't make any sense and you're like, I really don't know what that means, that's okay. Just say so. We'll ask them to show us in another way, tell us a bit more about what they're trying to bring forward until we find out what it is.
Great.
So you don't have to try and make something out of something you're not sure, is really what I'm saying. It's like, don't know what that is, pass. Yeah. We can just keep going, okay?
Yep. Okay, so one thing I want to say for any of you guys who are practicing to become a reader or starting your own side hustle or already have a business, I really love, and I've told this before too, the intro spiel that she does, because for sometimes when we're doing these readings, we forget that there are people that have never gotten a reading before. They're not familiar with our services. So this is a really great example of priming, or just like giving a client a heads up how they're going to conduct a reading, how they're going to hold it, what to expect, what an Akashic Records is. So I really like that, and just something for you guys to take note of if you are practicing to become a reader. So the next section you'll see that we're going to fast forward, she starts me off in a grounding meditation, and then she gets into the reading. Beautiful.
So what questions do you have if you want to pose any questions? Is there something you'd like to ask?
Well, I will open up with, what am I here to do, and what is my life purpose in this life?
Okay. Good. Okay, good. Do I have your permission to open your records today?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, then let's get started. I'm going to turn off my video. We'll turn it back on at the end, and then we'll do a little debrief. And then, I'll see you in 50 minutes or so. Okay. All right, good. So I want you just to get super comfortable. If you want to, just for this grounding exercise, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And then just wherever your hands are, turn them up so your palms are facing up. So one of the first things that's coming forward for me is a visual of it's kind of like a kid's park, like a playground. But what I see in this playground isn't little children, but I see like little puppies. And there's a real feeling here that there's a sense of sort of like playground, and there's a lot of light, there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of joy, but it's got this sense of like childlike joy. And a softness. And when I say softness, what I mean by that is sort of, how a puppy and even like small animals like that feel so soft because they're so young and they're so small, and they're so precious in a way. Does this image at all resonate for you in some way? Do you connect to this to begin?
I'm not sure. Maybe like in the future, maybe?
Okay, I'm going to ask them to continue here.
So before you get excited about seeing a field full of puppies, don't forget a lot of these images. It seems like she is clairvoyant, so the way, I guess, spirit connects with her or show things to her, or the Akashic Records, I think, show things to her is through a lot of visuals. Like think Pictionary, right? So when you have a field of dogs, does that mean I'm going to be a dog breeder when I get older? Or is it going to be, will I be having my own animal sanctuary when, as my life's purpose, So, or maybe it's just more of like, that softness and that playfulness of a puppy is in my life, or that's what I bring to this world, and that is my purpose. So as you can see, when you get readings like this, there's a lot of interpretation, and you'll see later on in the reading that she'll continue to get these images, and it seems like her style is a lot of asking, do you resonate with that or not?
With that, they are really sticking with animals here. Have you got a connection to animals?
I do love dogs. I don't have one yet, but it's funny when you said puppies, I was like, yay!
yeah, it's puppies. What about horses?
I'm not familiar with them. Like, I've never really had a lot of, I think, opportunities to even like have close interaction. I've only had like one or two horseback rides in my life, and that's about it.
Okay. All right, let me ask them to continue here. What is it trying to bring forward for you? Because what I can see at the moment is, for whatever reason, is this really beautiful dark brown horse. I'm going to ask them for some more information here. What it is they're trying to bring forward? And so when I ask that question, they really hold this image of the horse here with me. Now, this horse is standing very proud. So we're not looking at a horse grazing in a field or anything. The horse is standing up tall. Its head is raised. Its ears are forward, which usually is a sign that it's, confident and happy with its surroundings. It's got a beautiful shiny coat. I'm going to ask for some more information. And so when I ask that question, there is the feeling here that this, in some way, this horse is relating to you in a way of your heart space, so your heart. I'm going to ask them for a bit more clarity what exactly they mean by that. So with that, there is a sense here that there is a certain amount of like strength coming forward. Obviously, this horse is, I don't know why, but it looks big, a really big horse, but it looks fit, it looks healthy, it looks strong. And in particular, they're sort of showing me a part of the horse being, just under its neck where its sort of front legs join. And there's this real feeling of that's the sort of space of the horse's heart. But at the same time, I get a lot of energy at the front of my chest, sort of correlating that with your heart. Now, when I describe that to you, and we can forget that it's a horse for now, but this idea of having a big heart, a strong heart, how does that resonate for you?
Yeah, I'd say so. The strength part, and yeah, I guess the words correlate. I resonate with that.
Yeah, beautiful. Because what they're sort of showing me here is like there's also a confidence to this horse, and there's also a sense within this horse that there is like a knowing. Now, when I say a knowing, what I kind of mean here is obviously the horse knows it's a horse, but the visual that I get here is that, the horse knows itself. The horse knows who it is. The horse knows what it's here to do. The horse, doesn't have any questions in its mind about who the horse is. Now, this is a random way to describe that for you because I get a lot of visuals with nature. So this idea of knowing who you are, does this resonate for you?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. And there's a real sense here that there's not really a lot of question around that. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So you've got a real sort of, I want to use the word like clarity and confidence around who you are. So the question that you're bringing forward today isn't so much about who am I, but what is my purpose as who I am. Does that resonate?
Yeah. Like, what did I come here down to do, I would say.
Yeah, okay, beautiful. All right, I'm going to ask them to continue. So when I ask that question, they are moving this scene for me. And there is this feeling here. We are indoors, and there is this sense of like motion. And when I say that, it's like I saw you or saw the horse that sort of turned into a vision of you. But we have this real feeling here as this horse turns into a picture of you, that there's this sort of like sweeping motion. Now, this is significant because there is something about this image that I'm seeing that really is trying to embody this sense of like turning things around, or a sense of motion, or moving things along, or let me see if I've got some other words here. Like really being able to turn things around, or did these words resonate with you in any way?
When you say turn things around, do you mean like make a difference, or like? So you'll see throughout the reading, I was a little bit caught off guard by this. I mean, it is probably a different style maybe, or a different level of interpretation. But as you can see, she gets images, and she keeps asking me if I resonate. I can totally see from an outsider or skeptical person's point of view, they're like, why is she asking so many questions? She should know, psychics should know, or that kind of stuff. And the thing is, again, you receive information different ways. For her, a lot of it is clairvoyance, so she gets images, and a lot of it and then the second one I think she said was feeling, clairsentience, and then clairaudience, which is sometimes she'll get words if she can't really if she's trying to still like interpret the image. And so I think based on my personal experience, with my opinion on this, is that there is people that have maybe a system down, or they have experience with interpreting different types of things, or if that makes sense. So for her, I think I was a bit caught off guard because I think in this reading, I felt like I was interpreting the information that was being given to me. Sort of, whereas I'm used to going to a reading and having them just kind of like maybe expecting, or having people just tell me the information, and here's the information and here's the message you need to hear, versus like I'm getting these images, does it resonate with you, and I have to figure it out on my own. Sort of, that's at least how I felt. But like I think for someone that is not self-aware of themselves or their life and stuff like that, I kind of like know what my life purpose is already, but I just kind of want to see how it would be shown in an Akashic Records reading. And in this reading, I think I'm getting, like I was expecting, maybe based on previous other readings I've had, but again, they're all different, is getting more, I don't know if specific answer is the right word, and we'll talk about it later in the reading, you'll see, but just more so of getting a more direct message maybe, instead of something that I'm trying to interpret along with her, if that makes sense. Anyways, let's continue. change society?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look for here as I keep describing these words for you, because really, like I said, there's this real image that I'm seeing. It's almost as like, there's a force that comes with you that is, it's like turning things around. Like you've changed this image. There's a sense of a really powerful ability to, turn things around, is what they just keep saying. So, that can be with another word coming forward here is like help people change perspective, or, be a force of good, or a force within other people's lives that, you have a presence and you have a ability to sort of really help move things. Does that resonate? Do you sense that within yourself?
I think I'm on that. I think that's going to happen in the next couple of years, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you're feeling that coming.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like based on this reading, again, I don't know if I see another Akashic Records reader, they might have a different style, but so far based on this reading, and you'll see later on in the reading that, like, for example, I asked, what is my life purpose, and in this reading at the moment, I'm not, it's really broad and vague in terms of like making an impact on people, making things move, or changing things, making an impact, like she said, turning things around. I think like changing the old traditional ways of things being done. So it's very, I can see how some people listening in might say like it's really vague. For me, I can obviously, like, I can, working at the Happy Healing Shop, it is doing something that is a bit right now considered very different and alternative, and just changing people's perspectives on this. So it could be as that, but I can see how an outside person's point of view is like, well, that is just, you can say that about anyone.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah. Okay, good.
Oh, one other thing to add is, so I don't feel like this is a reading that, if you're looking for more specific answers, like what industry am I supposed to get into, or what job should I take, like if you want to, like, it doesn't seem like this is the reading for that, in case you're wondering, but yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask them to continue if they can give us more information here and expand this vision for me. When I ask that question, there is a feeling also, they're kind of sticking with this visual of movement, and what I really, really feel as I see this image too is like I feel it in my heart space, but it doesn't just feel like, heat or energy here. It's literally like if you can imagine getting a paintbrush and then it's covered in paint, and you just do one straight like swipe of this paintbrush against a wall, and it leaves like that sort of line of paint on the wall that could look like, a trail of energy, or a trail that's being left by something. Does that make sense? Like there's this after trail that comes from the paintbrush, but does that make sense, that image?
I'm not sure how to interpret that. Do you mean like...
I guess, so just get the visual. So the visual really here is like, or let's do it this way. When you see, let's say even a cartoon, and there's the cartoon characters running really fast, but the way that they portray that through a drawing is that there's sort of like a trail of the body of the cartoon character behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like that really shows there's that. Yeah, so they're really, really showing me this, that there is something attached to and force is a word that comes through here. And when they say force, it's very, very much around the heart space. Like there is a driving force here, but that there's also an emphasis on what you leave behind. So the visual of this sort of trail coming out behind you that is, showing us this sense of motion, this sense of turning things around, is that there's also what you leave behind. So it's like you are leaving a trail behind you. Does that resonate in some way?
Yes, I can see that happening in the future, I guess. Like if you're leaving an imprint of like your impact. That's how I'm interpreting it.
Yeah. Within what do you have an idea of what your purpose is now?
I think.
Or you're like.
So based on that reading, if I came into this reading cold and I didn't know anything about the spiritual world, never talked to my grandpa or like Maria, psychic medium Maria, my answer would have been no. I have no idea what my life purpose based on that information. However, off the record, it's not on our YouTube, but I did talk to my grandpa in the past about this, and I just asked him directly. I was just like, what is my life purpose? And as well as Maria's as well, because we worked together in the beginning, and he said it was to help people on their spiritual journey. So knowing that, obviously he didn't get into like the details of it. So it's not like he's like, you're going to start this business, then offer services, then that. It's just more of, this is helping people on the spiritual journey, whether it is going through starting your own meditation studio. Like, you can leave it open to interpretation or your creativity on how you want to go about that. But the overarching theme is helping people on their spiritual business. So as she's giving me this reading, I'm kind of applying what she's saying to my situation, and also as I am working on this path of building up the Happy Healing Shop. So, but if I did not have any previous readings with, grandpa or anyone like that, then I think coming into this reading cold, I still wouldn't know what my life purpose is. How I would have interpreted based on the information so far she's given me is like changing, making an impact somehow, changing people's like perspectives, and again, like being a force, but a force for good. Through what though? There's a lot of like in a way, like I guess you could say unanswered questions in a way, or it's just very not high end, but not detail oriented, if that makes sense.
I totally got no idea.
I mean, I think it's under that broad umbrella of like helping others, but
but you're not exactly sure how.
Yeah, or I wonder like in what ways, what methods, or
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing. Let's even ask that then. What is your calling? Okay. Yeah, because what they're really showing me here then, just to get this sort of little piece out, is that you are going to be, or you have a powerful force, that you're going to be a powerful force to turn things around and literally, like leave a trail, but and more than a trail, it's kind of like an imprint. Or just people are going to know you were there. So just wanted to give you that. But we'll ask them then for where your gifts lie, perhaps. Does that sound like a good question? Like where your gifts are, and what your gifts are?
One of the other questions I had are like, maybe like, I have it written down here. What hidden abilities, skills, or talents do I have that are hidden or that I underestimate using?
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's ask exactly that, what your hidden gifts are or abilities that you're not tapping into and can be bought online now for you. So when I ask that question, I get a visual of you standing in front of what looks like, let's say it's like a whiteboard, but that I see you with like writing right at the top of this whiteboard. You're writing down something. Now, this visual sort of has it as... you look like a teacher in this particular image. I'm going to ask them for some more information. But also, as I see you writing something on this board, there's a feeling here too of like you're maybe even like making note of something, like this is something you've discovered. You've also got a book in your other hand, like you're kind of doing a little bit of reading and research and like, I like this piece. I'm going to take that, put that here. This is something I want to come back to and remember. Does this idea resonate for you in any way?
I think maybe something in the future. Like that sounds like a vision of the future.
Something that you've thought of? Or something that you're connected to?
I'm not sure.
No? Okay. All right. We'll keep going. I'll ask them to continue.
But I mean, I guess based on that image, I guess interpreting it is me teaching others and
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. I'll ask them to continue what more they want you to know here.
So with that visualization of me teaching on a whiteboard in front of people, I was thinking to myself, is it me teaching the course at the Happy Healing Shop, or is it me in the future teaching in front of a live classroom, or teaching in front of employees, or showing things, showing ideas? So again, with these images, they're very open to interpretation.
So when I ask that question, there is a visual here for me, and a really lovely sentiment being expressed that within you, and again, they're coming back to your heart space, there's a feeling here that it's, some of what they're trying to show me here is there's an expression of, and then what they said was the light of your soul. So I get a feeling here, and I get a picture here of that there are beautiful things within you. And what I mean by that, feelings, sentiments, let's even say knowings that you have within you that I'm seeing here for you as being expressed in some way, that you sharing more of what's within you is also part of one of your gifts, is part of your path. Does this resonate in some way?
Yeah, I think so.
What comes up for you when I say that?
I feel like probably just sharing my life story. I think a lot of the images that you're describing, it's, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like things I can see happening in the future. Like it hasn't happened yet, but it's like happening in the next couple of years.
Yeah, okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Let me ask them to continue then what else they may have for you around your hidden gifts or abilities that you're not tapping into now that they want you to be aware of. When I ask that question, I get another visual of you. And again, we're getting a lot of energy around heart space and throat. So expression, talking, but this time they're really showing me an image here of you with another person, and the overarching emotion and feeling here is like a deep sense of kindness. So I see you almost as if you are giving something to another person, and this person that you're interacting with looks like an older person, and you got your hand stretched out and there's something that you're giving to them, whether that's, you know, something physical, but the big brush here, or the big theme here is like this sense of kindness and this sense of like unconditional giving or unconditional love. And as I say that, I get a lot of energy in the heart space, and it just sort of feels like it's coming, you know, through you, out of you, and it's a way that you almost, they're showing me like light up a space is through this sense of kindness and giving. Does this image resonate for you?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, okay, beautiful. All right, let me ask them if there's more here for you. So when I ask that question and I ask them to expand that and continue to show me more of what you're here to do, there's also a feeling here too that I see you now, you've moved away from, you know, extending something out to this older person with kindness to, I see you sort of walking in the other direction now, and you're like now ground level, you've come down to the ground level where there's, you know, a child. And again, the image they keep sort of showing me here is that you're going to these different sort of places, these different environments, but that you, as who you are, is a sense of an equality of light for people that you're visiting. This children or this child that I see, the surroundings of where the child is sort of a, you know, this doesn't have a lot of light. So it shows me as you being this person that comes into this place, this environment where it's very much about your presence, and the words that come forward here is like your heart, that brings a lot of light and love to other people. And there's a sense here too that it's this particular image, that it is someone of you know, greater need, or that has less, or isn't in, you know, the best situation, or that there is a almost like humanitarian element to it, that there is a part of you, again, it goes with the kindness, that there's a real generosity about you, that wanting to help people maybe who are a little less fortunate. Does that resonate with you? Does that come up for you? Yeah. And because it feels to me as if this feels very authentic and genuine. Does that resonate? Yeah.
So ever since I can remember, since maybe college years, I had I said this to a friend too, I had a sense of thinking of traveling the world for some reason and helping others in need. So I just don't know if this is it, or just helping the poor. I just kind of had a sense of knowing that I was going to do something. I didn't think something big, but more something on a worldwide scale. So we shall see in the future how it all plays out. But just extending that hand, I don't know if it's exactly to a kid or to an old person, but probably the interpretation is just to, again, like she said, people that have less than I do, or less than we do, are less fortunate. So it was just interesting hearing that, all this. And I know from an outsider's point of view, they might be like, oh, it's very generic. But yeah, it kind of does touch me on that. It reminds me of back in my college years, how I kind of had that thought for some reason, had that kind of feeling or a sense of purpose of doing something like that, something on a worldwide scale. But also when she said you're going to different places, I was like, that means I'm going to travel more.
And it's almost like it's just natural for you to understand that and to relate to that, but you do it in such a really powerful way, and it almost feels like when they show me this particular image that you get to be an example of something. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, beautiful. Let me see if they have anything else here on this question. When I ask that question, they show me again you with a young child. This time you're standing up, you're holding one, and you've sort of got, she's not a baby, she's like a young child, 2, 3, sort of, you've got her on your hip, and you've got a really big smile on your face. And there is the energy and the words that come through here, as if someone has just said, given you a compliment. And there's the words that come forward are like, she's like Mother Teresa. She's got that someone and people are feeling towards you that, you have this heart like her, that you are, generous like her, that you care like her. Does that resonate for you in any way?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just never saw myself as Mother Teresa, but yeah.
Yeah, big compliment coming through for you here. That there's a real, because the real emphasis here for me that I'm seeing is there's a genuine care that comes from you, right? It's almost, this is part of who you are. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably don't know how to be any other way. Does that resonate?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it for clout or fake.
Yeah, no, yeah, super genuine. Genuine is and you know what the powerful thing is that the people that you're going to help feel the genuineness of it, and that is a massive gift to them, because those that come in for the external accolade of being generous, it is not the same benefit for those that are receiving that generosity. Yours comes from, again, it just sort of almost like this saintly energy. So just really want to let you know that is a beautiful way that people are going to receive your kindness, and what I'm feeling like might be your story as well. Mm-hmm. Do you have any other questions you wanted to ask?
Yes. I just kind of laughed a lot inside when she said the saintly energy, because I do not see myself that way. But yeah, that was kind of funny to me. I have a list actually, because I just kind of Googled them because I didn't know what to. So yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and also with the, with what's come through so far, is there anything that, feels like something that you do want to know rather than what you have Googled?
No, I guess
but the Googled ones were okay.
Yeah, I guess I thought it might have like more specificness, but I think it's more of like the overarching theme of like helping others, and it seems like it's gonna be, from your images that you're getting, it sounds like it's like helping others, but it's gonna be on a bigger impact where people will notice it and see it.
Yeah. And again, when we come back to the original image of you like sort of leaving this like wake or this trail behind you, I think really that ties in with this bigger image here too, is that, even after you're gone, you're still there. Do you know what I mean? Like when someone's got a perfume so strong that they're not there anymore, but you can still smell them in the room.
Right.
Like, this is the feeling that I'm getting for just, and again, it's you. It's the presence of you that is really, really powerful for other people. And the emphasis that they're sort of bringing forward here is that there's a really beautiful innate quality about who you are that is the true gift. So again, while you're sort of looking for the specifics, what they're trying to tell you is it's just you. Do you know what I mean? It's the gift here is who you are, and more importantly, it's something about your heart. Like when I say that, it means, it's capacity for kindness and generosity in such a genuine way. And so often we want, open your own business and do this and do that, but it's not really, that's just a technicality. Do you know what I mean? The real gift of your life is you and what you bring to whatever physical thing you do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's it sounds like what you said the last sentence, I think, where it's just like whatever you do, the thing that gives it the extra, I guess, golden star is just yourself.
Yeah, and because everything they're showing me here is like it's central, is just literally you look like a light walking around on the planet. That it's really, because there's a uniqueness and a specialness about you, and that is what touches people. And I know that's can sound airy fairy, but
I think it's like,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. When you hearing this, I'm like, but, me really? But
our humanness tends to like, oh, is that it? And but if you sit with that long enough, you realize how beautiful that truly is. Okay. What other questions do you have?
I guess, let's see here. I guess what line of work or type of business will bring me the most joy and fulfillment?
Okay. And now I want to ask you this, just as, do you have a sense of what that is for you?
Sort of. I'd say, probably. I think I'm probably on the right path anyways. I think it's just more of like, I'm curious what in Akashic Records, what ends up being shown.
All right. Let's ask them that question and see what they say. So we're going to ask, what line of work will bring you the most fulfillment? Was that the question?
And the most joy and fulfillment,
And the most joy, okay.
Or like industry.
So when I ask that question, what I see then is, again, I see you in this role of like, we're coming back to sort of one of the first images. It's almost like educator. But I see you sort of standing at the front of a room, speaking to people. Now, for whatever reason, this image has like not so much like a pulpit, so you're giving a speech, but more like a school desk, and it's in front of you. I don't see the people in the room, but I see you sort of staying there speaking. Not necessarily like thousands of people, but to an important group of people. And that is a really key thing that keeps coming up here is that there's, again, with this image of you speaking to them, it's almost like you have a role here of there's some form of like education. Now, that's not to say that you are a school teacher. It is education around something you're either passionate about or an advocate for. But you're really someone coming into places that, and every time I see it, again, this classroom, the lights are kind of off. You know, it's a sense that this is a place where, you know, more challenging things happen, or the people that are there have been through some stuff. But you come in, and as a way to kind of bring hope is a word that's coming forward as I see you speak. Again, it's this, you know, sharing of light being your story, who you are.
Speaking of the word hope, I remember, what was it? It was one of the readings, I feel like, in another Trang Tries It series episode where I forgot which reader it was, but it said, say, like, you bring hope to people that don't have it, or when they just feel like giving up. Something along those lines. So, and I see, as I see this particular image, there are other adults in the room. They're at the back of the room, and it really, really feels like, and again, they're in the shadow, but what I can sense from their presence in the room is that they're really, really